Okay guys, welcome to part 2 of the 4-3 stack defensive series, or the defensive formation in our ebook. And today we're going to go over some very effective complementary things that you can do from the 4-3 stack other than just run the circle, the 3 plays I broke down the other day. And the first thing I want to break down is a very nice coverage defense from the SAM-3 Fire. And all we're going to do is we're going to spread the linebackers here. And basically what I like to do with this is I'm going to spread the line as well to make it look like I'm running the standard setups. And I like to take these corners here and move them back just about 5 yards off. So now they're not pressed up, but they're about 5 yards off, as you can see. If you have time to do that, that's very effective. All we're going to do is we're going to take Willis. We're going to put him in a deep blue zone here. And we're going to take Alden Smith, and we're also going to put him in a deep blue zone. And then we're going to purple Isaac Sofayaga. We're going to spy McDonald, and we're just going to re-blitz Smith. And you see this is a very effective coverage concept. Basically we have 5 people in deep blues. So if they're throwing tight end streaks or any kind of streaks, it's kind of shirred up. And you'll see that the guy doesn't slide over from the left side. As you see, he wanted to slide over, but he will not slide over once you get the block shed. So that's why I only blitz one person. And you'll see that come into play in the full game breakdown. So another way you could do this is you could run the a nice concept out of the yellow concept, and all we're going to do is we're going to just hot route all of our linebackers to zones, and just basically we're going to re-blitz Alden Smith this time, since we brought it from the left once, or the right. Now we're going to bring it from the left, so just re-blitz Alden Smith, and then you're going to take Smith and put him on a spy, and then zone the 2 middle dudes like this. And now you see how we have a million yellows in the middle of the field, and we're going to use the double down concept from ZBoy365. We're just going to baseline twice and then press coverage. And now look at the yellows. You see how they're going to cover the entire intermediate of the field. The spy is going to not only occupy the right tackle, but he's also going to jump any tight end drags, quick drags from the right side of the field. And you're going to have one dude coming off the edge outside on an island. The dude should not slide over. As you see, he wants to slide over, but he's not going to as soon as we get the block shed. As you see, no slide over, so it's a one-on-one matchup with Alden Smith. And a lot of times he'll win that matchup even faster. So, as you see, that is a very effective coverage D concept from the SAM-3 Fire. Not only do I do it from SAM-3 Fire, I do it from other formations as well. But that coverage concept has been around for a little while, and I really enjoy it, especially the fact that they won't slide over in the 4-3, and we're going to utilize that to show you some passive pressure blitzes right now, actually. So, if you go to the SAM-Fire 3, baseline press coverage, our usual setup, we're going to spread the linebackers. You see that his blitz angle like this is going to, if we re-blitz, if we simply were to zone the entire defensive line except for him in the end, the guard is going to pick up the linebacker and the end will pick up Smith, as you see, and they'll slide over. But what I'm going to tell you, or what I'm going to show you, is a way to make it to where the way that they're going to have to pick him up in a different way. So all you're going to do is you're going to baseline press coverage. Now, this is very important. You have to do this before you spread the linebackers. Instead of spreading the linebackers and re-blitzing the backer like we normally do, we're going to re-blitz the linebacker and then spread the linebackers. And you see it's going to give him that straight down blitz angle. And that's important because the way we're going to run this blitz is we're basically just going to try to overload the tackle. So all you're going to do is, again, get him in his position here. Now you have to spread the line. This is important. And you need to get on Smith, and you're going to re-blitz him down. And then you're going to click on him like that, move him over, and then get off of him. As you see, he's going to stay out wide, which is important. And now what I like to do is I'll yellow everybody else on the field, and then do the double baseline, like so. And now you see the yellows will play very effective. And if you watch the right side here, you'll see, as you see, the linebacker will basically get held up for just a second and then come off the edge clean. And that's exactly what we're looking for. This works on both sides of the field. It's the concept is what it is. It's also, and I'll show you this concept from another play when I break down that formation. But it's a concept, and we'll talk about it a little more. So we're going to audible back to it again. The concept is basically this linebacker is going to come straight. This tackle is going to come straight here. These guys are all in yellows. And they have to watch these tackles for just a second before they can do anything about anything. And if you watch the guard, what's going to happen is he's going to get caught up on his own guy, his own tackle, and you'll see the tackle will hold his lineman basically against him, and he'll come right off the edge there. So that's passive pressure. I would say usually that's what an actual NFL pass rush would be, about 3-second pressure there. So, but here you see our yellows are very exaggerated. They're going to really play well on everything. If you have time, go ahead and just sit these dudes. You want them inside. You want them to get kind of right in here, which will be very good. And then you'll see the two-man pressure come right off there. That time he split over, but most of the time they won't. You saw the first 2 times they did, and the third time he did. It just has to do with some. Basically, it has to do with the sliding of the line. And I'm gonna actually go into it because you saw there I didn't slide the lineman over manually. You have to do it manually, so you have to slide him over 1 step manually. Re-blitz, get off of him. You see he's gonna sit there, which is good. That's what you want. And then just yellow everybody else. And you see the coverage is going to stop basically everything that they're going to be able to do, or that they're going to want to do, and you're still in a cover 3 defense. So if it doesn't come in, you have 3 deep, and there's really nowhere to go. You see where the yellows go, it's going to really be effective. The only thing really opens the drag, and you're going to be usually in the middle of the field anyway, so that's kind of how that goes. Now let's talk about it. If you want to bring it from the left side instead of the right side, what you can do is it's the same thing. Re-blitz before you spread. So what we're going to do with Sam Fire 3 here is we're going to globally zone the linebackers, and then you're going to re-blitz the left linebacker. Then you're going to spread them. I think the pressure actually works better from the left here. You're going to see we're going to bring Smith like this. Zone, 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 baseline, baseline, baseline. Press coverage, or baseline, press coverage, sorry. You see this coverage is a little bit, the only problem with this is the defensive tackle is going all the way over there to that out route. So the out route will be open, but if you see here what we could do is we could take Brown, put him in a yellow like this, and now he'll cover it. The only problem with that is you're in a cover 2 now. So what I would recommend doing is I would recommend just putting him in a deep blue and just leaving that out open, knowing that it's going to be open. Because it's not an every down, you're not going to be doing this every down. It's kind of a mix-in, and most of the time we'll be stopping out routes with the rest of our other plays. We're discouraging that out route anyway, and this is more of a play designed to stop, like the user catch fades, the user catch everything. Basically, any timed pattern this is going to throw off, and the pressure is very above average. I mean, as you see, you get the loop around with that side, and that side's a little bit different. The pressure comes in a little differently, but it's the loop around pressure. And so that's how that works. Now you could do this from this play right here, the cover 3 cloud. And what you'll see is it's actually maybe a little better. You don't have to re-blitz the lineman. You're just going to move him over, get off of him. Zone, zone, zone. Spread linebackers. Like this is what you're going to get. And now you're going to see it. It may actually work a little better because you'll get that one-on-one with the guard, but the only problem with this one is the guard kind of does get in the way still, so that's the only problem with it. But anyway, I like to do the first 2 setups, and I like to do them from Sam 3 Fire mainly. That's what I like to do. I usually only run Sam Fire 3, but I run it in a million different ways. But the cool thing is you have Thunder Smoke, which you can go to, and if you spread the linebackers and you leave this middle linebacker in a blitz, which you're going to user him, hold L2 right as basically just run the play. Hold L2 while you're running it, and then once he strafes back up, and you see you get some crazy pressure from the linebackers out there. So that's the thing, and that's something that you can mix in with the rest of the stuff you've been doing from this formation. As far as other plays I run, basically the cool part is about this is if I ever say to zone someone up, you can also man them up and it'll still work the same. So the cool part is you'll see here we're going to man up these outside guys and we'll still get that A gap in with the hold. It won't come in against aggressive, but it will come in against everything else, as you see right there. A gaps in and you're manned up against outside guys. So that's cool. Another thing we could do is we could run that pressure setup I just showed you and just double team everybody. So That's kind of cool actually. So basically just a double team. Ah, crap. See, now everyone's really double teamed, and then Culliver's on an island with Teddy ball game again. And it's kind of cool though because you see it's just a blanket of coverage. Two guys everywhere they go on the inside and outside bracket coverage basically is the concept. So that's cool. I've never really done that, but it's actually kind of cool. That it actually is an interesting concept. I might actually try that out at some time. It works really well for tight end streaks, so that's cool. And then now you're left with these two guys, whatever one you want to double team, and the other dude's going to be left to fend for himself on his dude. You'll see the pressure can come in. I mean, it's such a wacky coverage; they're not going to know what to do with it, to be honest. So that's basically how I run this defense at a 4-3 stack. Let me go over this real quick. The quick audible down. Cover 3 buzz. Basically what I'll do with this is I'll press coverage, and I'll run it just like Sandfire 3. But now I have a purple here, which is kind of cool. What I'll do is I'll purple these out dudes, and then I'll spy this dude right here. And I'll take Brooks like there and hold him. I'll put him on a flat and hold him, but I know that that's my responsibility to do the right seam pass. And act like I'm doing it, and then hold, and then come right into the seams here. As you see, you get a quick block shed, and it stops the out routes on curl flags, which is cool, which is really good. Then I'll just run the pressure stuff out of that. Another thing you could do with this is baseline press coverage, spread line, and you could just re-blitz the outside dudes here, and put these two defensive tackles in purples, or not purples, but deep blues. And now the cool part about that is, you could take Golson and put him in a yellow, and you could take Rogers, put him in a deep blue. Now you have cover 5, and you're just going to be using this kind of basically whatever's not in color. This little green area of the field right here is yours. So when you hold like this, hold, then release out like this, and then there's a block shed quick sack. So a lot of things you can do in this formation. Utilize the yellow double down theory. Utilize all that other stuff. Utilize the blitzing scheme from this. But the cool part about this play is you can run it from everything. Like you can run it from that. And then what I would do out of that coverage sync is I would just run baseline, press coverage, shift. Like so. Now you have the wacky yellows. And you can actually use Solpayaga's blitz angle. You'll see here, re-blitz both outside dudes. And you'll see you get double B-gap pressure. So now you have a little bit different angle of pressure if you really want to get cute with it. You don't have to spread. You don't have to crash the line up. All you have to do is re-blitz the right end. That's all you have to do. And then you see you have something like this. B-gap comes real quick. So that's the cool way to run the 4-3 stack as well. So if you want to run that, you don't have to re-blitz anyone because of these blitz angles of the whatever they're called, defensive tackles. So then you would come over here like this and contain, spy that guy, and then the B gap will come from one side. Then you could send 6 and get 2 free. The only problem with that, though, the only problem with this is that the dude slides over against B gap. He won't slide over against edge. He'll slide over against B gap though, for whatever reason. So if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna run it the way I've been running the edge pressure. See, edge and B there. So a lot of things you can do with this formation. You just have to get creative. If I'm going to run the B gap, I'm just going to leave these two guys blitzing. I may actually spy Smith, though. It just depends. The only problem, see, when you just spy him, but if you leave Solpayaga, the weird thing is, though, this is what I've been debating about going back and forth with, is because the contain is not going to really do anything for you unless they run a screen. The spy is actually effective for coverage. So if you just leave that dude blitzing there, that's kind of cool because the B-gap comes in still, but the problem is that tackle still slides over, which is why you have to kind of run at the edge if you want to do the spy contain stuff. If you want to do the B-gap stuff, what you can do is just spread the line, spread linebackers, reblitz, and then just reblitz that end. And now you just won't have a spy on the field, but the B-gap will come in every single time. So that time I got tripped up for whatever reason. May have not. So anyway, that's basically what I do from 4-3 stack as far as pass D and all that. If you want to do some run D, basically all I'm going to do is this. Same fire 3, I'm going to run the 5-man A gap, and I'm going to get my dude here. And all I'm going to do is just basically flow to the gaps, because we're going to get a hole in every single gap. So real quick, let me just audible to the run play actually. So we're just going to audible to a standard run, snap the ball and run it. Here you see there's that play, and then I'm just going to fill the hole like this, and there's really just, it's basically, you're utilizing block shed to your advantage. So, but that's basic concepts from the 4-3 stack. If you have any questions about 4-3 stack, just email me or post a comment. So anyway, I appreciate you guys for checking out this part of the video, and the next formation we'll break down is probably going to be the 4-3 over, which is actually the origination of that concept I just showed you a little earlier for the passive pressure. So, hope to see you guys soon. Thanks, guys.